All right, guys, welcome back to another KevCAM night class tonight. Tonight have Steve Walsh helping out with any questions or concerns that come along the way. Stevie, you with us?
I am. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for sitting in tonight.
And for those of you guys that are used to Greg Payton being here, he left us high and dry tonight. He had to go on a date with his girlfriend, so we'll have to let him slide for tonight. But if you guys talk to him on the tech support line, make sure you give him grief because he's not here.
Yep, you got to let those better halves win every once in a while, right, Kevin?
Yeah, every once in a great while.
Yeah.
And I do see some new names in here. So for those of you guys that are new, this is a night class. As you can tell, very laid back night class, training for you guys on any subject that you guys like to see. If you guys do have questions, there is a questions panel, and I'll kind of bring this over. You should be able to hit the little arrow out for the questions, and you guys should be able to ask those questions as you need it. We did have attendee, I think last week, couldn't find where the questions panel is. So the questions panel is right here in your GoToMeeting dialog. Everybody is in mute, just to eliminate any background noise. And if you, like I said, if you guys do have questions, Steve will call them out, and we'll get those answered for you right away. Now, with that being said, we definitely welcome your guys' input on these night classes. So if I can find my little screen I'm looking for here, send us your idea, or send me your ideas via email, and we will get these implemented in. We have a pretty cool class lineup going forward. Let me just put my email address in here for you guys that don't have it. So my email address is in the chat area. And kind of going along, I kind of feel like I'm rambling here, but going along the terms of what's coming new here, tonight we're going to be covering the SolidCAM Utility. Next week we have Daniel coming over, and we're going to be doing a big powwow over in South Dakota. Not a great place to go, but you know, nothing against South Dakota, just not.
Yeah.
I was hoping for somewhere warm, but no. So next week we'll be covering Swiss for you guys. And then on the 18th, we're going to get Sydney in here and give you guys a sneak peek at SolidCAM 2019, show you all the great goodies that are coming. We don't have an exact date when this will be launched, but it's coming very soon. And then we're going to wrap up that part program file. Then after that, I'm going to Ronnie had a great idea at IMTS, and I think I kind of talked about this before too, is we're going to do some pretty simple parts, but I'm going to let you guys kind of program the parts. So, you know, maybe whoever's comfortable, one guy or maybe two guys a night can kind of program a part. That way it kind of gives, you know, with everybody in here, we have so many people in this night class. I mean, we have probably hundreds of years of machining experience, and it's kind of nice to see different ways to tackle machining a part, or you know, the thought process behind that. So I'd like to get that kind of rolling too. So like I said, we definitely welcome all of your guys' ideas for these night classes as a training purpose. And for those of you guys that are new, we do have a SolidCAM University channel. Make sure you come here, subscribe, so I can beat Sydney and subscribers. That's my main goal, but it's a great place to come in here and have videos, trying to do every day, and also playlists to help you guys along with every night class being recorded. So stop rambling here and let's get right to the point. So the SolidCAM Utility, and we're going to kind of go through the ins and outs of the utility. Where do you go to get it? All that stuff. So the utility is actually a separate download on our SolidCAM website. So you guys will have to log in and go to subscription and downloads. Now you guys can click on downloads for SolidCAM add-on. Now if you guys go down to the bottom area here, you'll see there's a SolidCAM Utilities download. This is where you go to download the SolidCAM Utilities. Now once you guys get that downloaded, it's a pretty small download file. Let me close out of this part real quick. You guys will need to turn it on in your add-ins. Sometimes it's been kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it will automatically add in for you. Sometimes you may have to manually do it. So if you go to your add-ins, let it pop up here, and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the SolidCAM Utilities right here. So you guys can turn that on startup, or you guys can just turn it on part by part basis, or every time you open up SolidWorks, SolidCAM. So there's a lot of features inside the SolidCAM utilities, and the SolidCAM utilities were created a long time ago to help you guys as programmers create geometry on the fly, make things easier for you guys as programmers. Now, what has happened over the years as we update the software is we've incorporated a lot of that stuff right into the software itself. You'll kind of see that as I go, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of do, just the main points of the utilities, going through the ones that I think that would benefit you guys the most. Some of the utilities, well, at least one of them, I have no idea what it's for, but it's just create a cube. Like I said, we've gone through it and not sure what the design intent for was, but there are also some ones that aren't up to par just because we've updated the software so far. So, all right. So let me just start off a new part file here. And we'll just do a simple sketch. And we'll do just a square. And what I'm going to do here is we'll just do 5 inches. Now, let's say the engineer did a tolerance. So let's say he wanted to do a min-max tolerance. So we can do, let's do a limit. So maybe the most that part can be is at plus 0.5. So if we hit the green check mark, you'll see we have a range between 5.5. Am I showing my screen?
Yeah, you're good, Kev.
Okay. I just got that panic, like, oh, shoot, did I forget to share the screen? Okay. So we have a range now of the 5.5 to 5 inches. Well, to find the middle number is kind of what our goal is as machinists, I guess you'd say. So what we can do now is in the SolidCAM utility, and it's right here in your ribbon for you guys. And like I said, the create cube, I'll show you that next, but I have no idea what the design intent for it is, but we'll get there. Okay, so it's set tolerance. This is where it kind of helps out. So if we click on set tolerance, I can tell it to do the middle tolerance, I can tell it to do the minimum tolerance, or I can go to the maximum tolerance. I can include diameters, basically a filter down here, but so I'm just going to go to middle tolerance, hit the green check box, and now if I click this line, you'll see it says 5.25, or let's do a evaluate here so you guys can see a little bit better. So what it did is it automatically found the middle number for me between that tolerance. So let's say your customer sent you a part file, it's plus 10 thou minus nothing. It's going to go to that plus 5 thou for you, so you have plus 5 minus 5. Or vice versa is, it's going to go to the maximum or the minimum of what you guys choose there or for your tolerancing. All right, let's get back to the utilities here. Does whole model? It does whole models. Yes. So what you want to, well, okay, let me do a little bit deeper explanation here. So once you do an extrude on something, so let's just extrude it out real quick. And we'll just do 1 inch. The green check box. So now to get that to activate, what you want to do is click on the sketch right there and do the set tolerance. So you would want to click on the sketch that you're trying to do and then set your tolerance. I have not tried it with, let's just do it real quick here. I don't think I have a tolerance section in the extrude. Nope, I don't have a tolerance right here. So I would assume, let's just try it, is if I just highlight everything here, highlight everything, set tolerance, and we'll go to minimum tolerance. Now that line, yep, so it does do everything. So you guys can do a boss extrude. If we have a whole slew of features here, you can highlight everything, and as long as it's highlighted, you can do your set tolerance. So you don't have to do it per sketch at a time. You can do entire trees. And Ronnie just fell off his chair. So we're doing good so far.
Nice feature, yeah.
Here's the sketch cube. Like I said, I don't know what the intent is, but basically what it does is it opens up a brand new part and just does a simple cube on there. So I don't know if it's for, they say it's for testing purposes. If you wanted to come in here and maybe test out, you know, maybe some fonts or something like that, and then we'll just say test, and let's say we wanted to test out. Okay, so we got our test font right there, and all right, that's the one I want. I can Control Tab and go back to my part and apply that. I'm not 100% sure, like I said, the intent of the create cube, but it's just a test part to go as testing purposes, I guess.
Quickly get something on the screen, Kevin, and then get what you like, and then move it to the part.
Exactly. So let's kill that. Don't save. And let's open up a SolidCAM file. So that's one that would probably, the tolerancing would be the one that probably gets used the most, especially if you guys are getting a lot of drawings from the engineers and whatnot on that. Now, we go to the next one over, change color. Now, this is no different than, I got to click my model, no different than the SolidWorks colors, but here's one, there is a good thing about this and there's a bad. You guys can set up to 16 different custom colors in here. Now, like I'm gonna pick on Ronnie here because he's got all these different machines that he programs for, or even companies he programs for. Maybe company A is red, maybe company B is, you know, yellow, and you guys can set that up as custom colors down here and just grab from those custom colors. But here's one default is if I click on just that face and I want it to be yellow, hit OK, it turns, let me delete all these other, I was playing around with this earlier. Remove appearance. Remove appearance. Okay, so it turns the entire model yellow, not just that face. I've tried going to the point of just doing the specific solid body, but I'm guessing this is something, you know, that was created back in the day when we didn't have those color functionalities inside there. But for your guys' benefit going forward with the newer stuff is more or less you guys can have all those different custom colors, where in SolidWorks you don't get that option of making those custom colors. So you guys can set it up for exact coloring. Remove face colors. That one doesn't seem to be working with the latest version, because if I click remove, it's going to tell me, do you really want to continue? Yep. But I still have a yellow part. So that one is, once it turns yellow, if you want to change it to a separate color, then you'd have to come over here and change your color in this route right here. So for some reason, this button is not working up to par with the latest version. Save to AI. This is to save a model to Adobe Illustrator. Now, a lot of us don't have Adobe, at least myself. I know a couple of our guys do. Greg Payton, Jack, Paul Johnson, they all have Adobe. But you can actually click on this and it will actually save to a actual Adobe Illustrator file for you guys. to me, I don't see any benefit, but I know Adobe is very large on what you guys can do inside there. So that could be a quick shortcut. For me, I would say it's much easier to do if we do make a drawing from a part assembly, or if we just do a save as and save it out as a PDF. Adobe Photoshop right here. So we can do that way, and you'll get a much, well, let's see what you pull. Oh, shoot, I don't even know where I saved that to. Save as, we'll do desktop, and we'll save that as a PDF. Come on, I just had it. There it is. Save. So now if I go to my desktop, here's a picture. So to me, and like I said, I may be missing something here, but just because I don't have Adobe, the full line of Adobe. But to me, it seems a little bit simpler just to go to do a save as a PDF versus clicking the AI button or the Adobe Illustrator button. But that option is there for you guys. Okay. Next one over, suppress holes. Works great. Click the button. Do I want to continue? Yep. It suppresses all my holes for me. Super easy, super simple. There is no filter, so it's going to suppress any hole. Anything, well, yeah, anything that's a hole, because I think the reason it didn't suppress this middle one was because it was the original extrusion. But all the other holes have been suppressed now. So that one's pretty cool. I'm not going to go over the simple hole along vector just because I just don't see where this would be a benefit to you guys. But let's go to next one over is holes to a normal surface. Now, if I come in here and do sketch, let's say, you know, I had a sketch point here, 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 here. So I got a couple sketch points in there. I exit out of my sketch here. So what you guys can do is if you guys want to illustrate actual holes on those points, you guys can do the holes to normal surface. Now, in the past, when we did drilling, you had to have an actual hole there. Well, now with the updated technology and software, we don't have to have a hole. We can just do a sketch point. So that's kind of why this was added in here. But we can still, you know, make use of it being there as well. So if we click on holes normal to surface, it's asking what face do we want to do the holes on, and the points. If I come down here and go to my sketch points, I can set a diameter, so we can say 0.25. I can set a depth, I can set an offset, green check mark. And we have our holes already there. Now, this is going to be no different than coming in and going to your hole wizard. Same thing, maybe if you already have the sketch points there, a little bit quicker than going to the hole wizard, just by doing a quick type of hole in there. But that option is there, and you'll see it adds a plane for each one and a cut extrude for each one. So each hole has a plane with its cut extrude to go through it. So, all right.
Kev, fair to say on this, saves you a little bit of time having to go back to the SolidWorks model.
Yep.
And create the geometry.
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
That would be definitely a fair guess. And like I said, some of these, you know, we're so used to with the SolidWorks shortcuts. You know, a lot of you guys have the most gestures set up, and what I mean by most gestures is you hold your center trackball down or I'm sorry, you right click and hold it down, and you guys have, these are called your mouse gestures right here. And I'm holding down my right mouse click. So if I wanted a top view, it'll go right to it. Or, you know, if I'm in a sketch, let's do this, edit sketch. You know, in a sketch, I have the mouse gestures set up. So to do a smart dimension, to do a line, all that stuff. You know, you can set up those shortcuts there too. And like I said, it's, you know, it's completely up to you guys. I just wanted to give you guys the option and kind of see. Now, what my hope is with the SolidCAM utility is, even though I'm showing it in a certain aspect, maybe you guys going forward be like, well, maybe that would come into a great effect for this part here or this part here. So I'm just trying to open up the eyes a little bit for you guys and show you guys the utilities. So, all right, so exit that sketch. All right, so you can do convert faces to surfaces itself. Works fine. Don't know when you would use it, but the option is there for it. Now, this one I would be very careful on, converting a solid to a surface. When we convert an entire solid to a surface, we lose all the mass, we lose the thickness. All we have is basic surfaces. So I would try to stay away from that one. Now, the next one that I kind of see as somewhat important for you guys is the select range of circles. If I click on that, I can actually click. So if I bring out my tab, and I got to find these. So I got my sketches there, and I can do a filter. So basically any hole from, you know, 1/2 inch, or I can come up here from, you know, this diameter to this diameter to grab all those holes. So by doing that, it filters out maybe the bigger ones, the smaller ones. Hit the green check box, and what it does is it highlights everything. So I can use that as geometry itself. Like I said, it's a filter, but I'm not trying to downplay it, but inside of SolidCAM, you guys also have those filter options for drill holes, profiling. You do have all those filters there as well. So maybe something to benefit, maybe not, but that option is there for you guys. Okay, the ISO ruled surfaces. So if I come in here and do sketch, and now if I go to my, oh, see, now I can't get this one to light up. Let me do edit part. There we go. So I can click on that face right there and do, let's see, first curve there, second curve here, number of lines. And I got one line in there, but it's showing. Okay, so guys, I'm doing a little playing here as we go. So basically what it did is it kind of did a convert entities, I guess you could say, but it also creating a 3D sketch as well. The nice thing with the 3D sketch is once it's on there, I can actually come in here and move my point. I thought I would be able to move it up and down. Come on. Trying to find my show relations. Well, that's, like I said, this one, not one that I don't see getting used very often. But you can do ISO lines, and it's more meant for, you can kind of see in the picture here, if you have a spline, you know, 2 splines following each other, it will do straight across lines for you guys. So if you guys wanted to follow a tool path along those lines to stay within that spline instead of doing, coming into your, we'll just do profile instead of doing a lot of the point-to-point. So this will eliminate, you know, if I'm trying to stay between this and this surface and I have lines going back and forth, I don't have to come over here and guess on my point-to-point to make sure it's going straight across, if that makes sense. Am I getting a lot of eyes glazed over from everybody? Okay, so generate sections. Now I think this was generated before we had the profile clear offset, but what this will do is it will generate sections for you guys. So you can do sections down in Z, you can do sections in Y. So if we just click on it, it's asking me what plane do I want to go off of. So if I go off of, plane 3, no, that's a cross, well, we can do a cross section too. And I can tell it to do step downs, I can tell it the distance between lines, how far to go out. Let me just hit the green check box here. And basically what it's doing is it's adding like section lines in there for you guys. And I hope it's not in a continuous loop because I forgot to, I set one of the values at 0. We'll give it a second here. There it goes. Okay, so you can see what it did is it sectioned the part off of the geometry itself. And you can set, like, what we did there is I set the spacing up as just kind of default. I think it was 40 thou. But it sections it off, so if you guys need to grab geometry straight down and you want to grab, you know, this line, you know, this line, it's quick set geometry to put in there versus having to come in here, right click, sketch, and coming in here and drawing lines straight across, making sure they're parallel, and then coming back and smart dimension them as well. So that is a little bit of a key feature there. That may come in handy for you guys as you're programming or even drawing inside of the SolidWorks itself. Any questions so far?
Kevin, why would you do something like that?
Well, on something like this, the only thing I can think of is, let's say I want to create my own custom toolpath.
Sure.
So let's say I wanted a face mill off the top of this part with the exact step over that I know that's going to be coming to a T. So what you can do is use that as sketch geometry and tell it to follow that path as one chain, this path over here as another chain. It kind of breaks up the chains, but we're equally setting them apart versus having to, like I said, do
manually put everything in there for sure.
Yep.
Makes sense.
So. All right, let's delete what we got here. And you can see these are all sketches that are added in the assembly level itself. All right, so let's get rid of that. All right, so let's go back to our SolidCAM here. I want to get my... Okay, so one feature I do like up here is the bounding box by part origin. So you can see right here, I got a coordinate system kind of floating out in La La Land, but I also have, you know, round corners. And let's say I want to do a measurement from this theoretical corner to my circle. Well, I can come in here, right click and do sketch and draw that in there, or I can just come in here and do bounding box by part origin, and it throws a box all the way around for us. So now, if I need to come in here and do a evaluate, do a measure, I can measure from a certain point to the circle, and I can get that dimension. So real quick, easy, just throwing a bounding box around the outside perimeter of your actual part file itself. Now, the same kind of goes for the bounding box by Cordsys. I don't have a box. I don't know. I mean, we got a coordinate system's kind of floating out in La La Land. Now, we do have the option to come in here, and if I do a unexpress, and I'm trying to find my, here it is up here, do a show. We do have the option up here to do an actual point to measure off of, or you guys can do a bounding box by coordinate, and I can select my coordinate here. Where's my coordinate? Coordinate. All right, this just worked a little bit ago. Of course, I go to show you guys. Now it's not going
to work. We need Peyton. This is the last time we're letting them loose.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let me start over here. So let me just delete what we got here. Okay. So if we do bounding box by coordinate system, should be able to come up here. Oops. Click on Cordsys 1. All right, looks like it's just throwing it around my coordinate system. Maybe it's because I did something with this 3D sketch up here. Let me suppress this. Now if we do a bounding box by Cordsys, all right, well, I had that one working. I'm not sure what's going on there. Looks like I got a 3D sketch over a 3D sketch here. Let me try one other thing here. If we do bounding box, Cordsys, yeah, it won't grab it. No, and I'm going to have to check on it. Like I said, it did work just prior to this, but I'm not sure why. So what it did is it threw a bounding box right up to the corner of the coordinate system itself. So you'd actually have, in this particular case, two boxes going around, one for the coordinate system, one for the theoretical points of there. Now you can come in here, since it is a 3D sketch, and you can take and modify these. So you're actually going up at angles. You can pick and pull wherever you want for these. So that option is there for you guys. But okay, now that it's gone through a whole lot of that stuff, any questions, guys? That's basically everything in there that I can find that's going to be legit to help you guys in the SolidWorks or SolidCAM side of things.
Looks like no questions so far, Kevin. What I'm getting from this is the utilities is something. Just take a peek at it, gentlemen. See, ladies and gentlemen, see what what's in there, and if there's some stuff that can help you, definitely take advantage of it. Kevin, it comes in all the packages, right?
Absolutely, yeah. This is nothing that you have to pay for. It's already included in there. You just have to do it as a separate download itself. Now in the help, it does go through and tell you what each thing does. So like I said, the cube is for testing purposes. We kind of go over the tolerancing, doing the colors, suppressing, simple holes along the vector. The only time I could see doing a simple hole along the vector is, let's say you're creating a jig fixture. You got the 3 dowel pins on the bottom of your part, 2 dowel pins for your y-axis, and 1 dowel pin for your x-axis. I guess that may come in handy for you guys. Advance holes along the vector. I just don't see, well, even both of these. I guess I would rather do this in the SolidWorks, you know, drawing the sketch and doing a cut extrude, but the option is there as a quick go-to, convert faces to a surface. So it's all here for you guys, but that is about all we have for it. Like I said, this was created in like 2000 or 2002, somewhere in there, when we didn't have all the technologies inside the software itself. But like I said, there are some nice ones there. My favorite is the set to tolerance, especially if you got the, you know, a +0 -10 thou, it will set it in the middle for you guys. That's the one I see as being the biggest benefit. So now that I put everybody to sleep, looks like.
Oh, you just covered the content so good, Kevin.
Yeah. Thank you, Ronnie. Appreciate it. So yeah, I apologize, guys. There's not a whole lot here. And like I said, a little bit of, you know, little helpful, quick tips, you know, to kind of get you guys' SolidWorks process and SolidCAM process maybe a little bit more proficient. Just wanted to share with you guys what's in here. So as I was going through it, maybe, you know, Ronnie's light bulb turned on and said, oh yeah, maybe I could have done that in this spot. But the option is there for you guys. And like I said, you just have to go to the website and go to the subscription and downloads, and then come over to the utilities download. They don't have all the languages there. If we do 64-bit, all we have is English, German, and French. But the option is there for 32-bit or 64-bit as well. So, but all right, with that being said, we can kind of wrap things up here. And like I said, next week is Swiss. If you guys don't have a Swiss machine, definitely still come to the class. I think it's going to be a really interesting class, really knowledgeable for those of you guys that even never seen a Swiss machine in their life. I still think you guys will really like it and think it's going to be really cool. There's going to be a bunch of us in here, like I said, because we're all going to be over in South Dakota, kind of doing a partnership deal. And then I'm really excited to show you guys what's coming up in 2019. So, but I guess that I don't see any other questions. We'll kind of wrap it up for tonight. And like I said, if you guys do have those ideas, send those over to me via email. Rick, I'm going to pick on you. Send me an idea. I haven't heard from you since IMTS, so.
Keep those ideas coming. We want to make them fresh and valuable.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, these classes are for you guys, so you just let me know what you want to see, and I'll give her the best shot to teach it for you. So.
Yep, perfect.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for attending the night class tonight. And if I don't talk to you guys in the meantime, we'll talk to you guys next week when we're doing the Swiss screw machining for you guys. All right. Thanks, guys.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.